Hey guys, it's Miss Black again with another art project for you guys on the web. This one is going to be centered around fungus and mushrooms. We're going to be drawing a mushroom forest with this project. But before that, we need to learn about mushrooms because that's what artists do. They research whatever it is that they're going to create. So there's going to be a video that is posted before this one on my website, and I would suggest watching this video because it will talk about mushrooms and the good things that they do for us and what they look like, lots of different mushrooms. I'm also going to be posting a photo of lots of different mushrooms that you can look at as far as your mushroom forest goes, because you're going to want to choose probably more than one type of mushroom for your mushroom forest. So we're going to learn a little bit about mushrooms, and we're going to learn how to draw a mushroom, and then we're going to create our mushroom forest. So I've got this book. It's called Hello Nature, and you might recognize this book if you have done other projects with me from my website. But this project is centered around living things and how they grow and how they change from maybe like a young organism or living thing to an older one. So this is a great thing to do for younger grades who learn about that sort of thing. And this is also great for anybody who is interested in drawing mushrooms. And also, 6th grade, in science, sometimes you guys have learned about microorganisms, so this could be a really good, interesting project for you as well. But just for anybody who would like to do this, let's take a look at mushrooms or fungus. So I've got this book, and I'll just see if I can figure out how to show you. Alright, so we've got these different parts of our mushroom, and so let's kind of go from the top here. So fungi, that is the plural version of fungus. So you wouldn't say funguses, you would say fungi to make it more than one. Fungi is the plural of fungus, which is an organism or living thing that feeds on organic matter or other living things. So it needs to eat other living things just like we do to survive. That feeds on organic matter and reproduces through spores. So if we look at our mushroom here, we've got the cap, we've got the gills, the stem, the ring right here, and then we've got like its root system. It's not called roots, but it looks kind of like, it looks kind of like roots. And then the spores come out of the gills over a specific part of its life cycle. So it grows up from the ground a lot like plants, but it's not a plant. It grows up and it creates these different things called gills, and it releases this little, it looks kind of like dust, and it releases this, and these are kind of like seeds, but they're not seeds, they're spores, and they blow away, and then they create another mushroom. So this is the fruiting body, it's called. And sometimes, though, fungus doesn't look like a mushroom. Sometimes it looks like mold growing on a living thing in your fridge, like sometimes I've noticed in my fridge. Or another form of fungus is yeast. So that's what's in bread, and it makes bread rise. Okay? There are 75,000 identified species of fungi. Common types include mold, mushrooms, and single-celled organisms such as yeast. So if we take a look at different types, let me find you guys in here. There's different types in here, and these are actually also discussed in the video that I posted. But there's gill fungi, so that's the kind of mushrooms that you like to put on your pizza if you like mushrooms. There's polypores. These grow on trees and other things like that. There's something called stinkhorns, puffballs. So they kind of grow in into like this spherical shape, and then eventually it bursts and releases all those spores that are inside. There's bullets. Bullets have thousands of pores rather than gills on the underside of their caps, so it's this right here, making them look like sponges. Each pore is the tip of a tiny tube that runs vertical to the cap, and from within, and from within which spores come tumbling out. So instead of the gills, it's got these little tubes and the spores come out. There's also jelly fungi that looks like this. I wonder if there's more in here. Nope. Those are the main types. Okay, so that's right there. So I would suggest checking out some of these different types on the picture that I will post. But what we're going to do is we're going to draw a mushroom. And so I want to teach you guys how to do that. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper. That's what you're going to draw your first mushroom onto. And you're going to need, I would suggest a pencil, because you're going to probably want to erase at some point because you're doing some overlapping, and so it makes it easier to do that. I'm actually just going to put this up here so you can see the whole paper. I apologize if this makes noise. There we go. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of paper, something to draw with. If you don't have a pencil, you can use a pen. And what we're going to start with, because we're doing a landscape, an outside scene, a picture of an outside scene, we need to make sure that we have our paper in landscape. This is portrait. We want to put it in landscape. And we are going to put a horizon line in there. So we're going to draw that line where the sky meets the earth. I'm going to put mine, I'm going to say on the top, nearer the top third, right here. Okay, and so like the mushrooms that might be growing over here are going to appear to be smaller because they look farther away, and then up here they're going to look bigger because they're closer to us, if you're thinking about what it really looks like in real life. So I'm going to draw a big mushroom here so that you guys can see the details in how to draw a mushroom. So what we're going to start with is the ground that it's growing on. So I'm going to just draw a tiny line right here, and I'm drawing lightly so that I can erase easier if I need to. But I'm drawing a tiny line, and what we're going to draw next is the stem. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw, like a tree trunk, we're going to draw a stem right here, and then it's going to have a cap in a second. We've got this stem. We've got this other part that attaches to their hyphae, which is their root, kind of like their root system. And so I'm going to draw this right here. It's kind of like Pac-Man. If you look at it this way, it kind of looks like Pac-Man. And so this is in front of it, so I'm going to erase this. Okay, you could even just draw like an actual Pac-Man. Like this. Okay, and then from there, underneath you might be able to see some of those hyphae, which kind of are like their roots. So I'm going to draw a little bit of that because it kind of holds it to the ground a little bit. And then above this, we've got the ring. So that ring, I would actually just suggest drawing your stem up to where the cap would be. So this is going to be where I put the cap, right here. The ring kind of looks like a dress almost, or a skirt. So I'm going to draw two lines on either side, and I'm going to draw a line going around, and I'm going to stop it right there because this is in front of it. So I'm going to stop it right there, and I can't see this part of the stem right now anymore because this ring is in front of it. So right here. So you can't see the whole stem because the ring is in front of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go a little bit above this, and we're going to draw an oval. So here's an oval right here. And you can draw all the way around. Just know that you're going to want to erase that because this part of the gills go behind this ring thing. Okay, and then on top of that, you're going to draw a frowny line all the way from here to the other side. And we've got the mushroom, but we need to draw the gills, which are these lines. So you're going to draw a bunch of lines going from the ring, from the middle to the outer edge. On the whole thing, the whole underside of your cap or mushroom head, as a lot of people call it. Okay, and then you could draw like a design on here. Any design you want. There's lots of different mushrooms. Or if you want to make up your own mushroom, that's cool too. And then you can, so that's like the main way to draw a mushroom, but there are sometimes like other patterns in other parts of it, so you can add those patterns after. So I'm going to draw that. There's some like V patterns in here. And that's how to draw a gill mushroom, but there's lots of different mushrooms as we've learned. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? This wraps around the whole stem, so I'm going to do this. Almost as if Pac-Man is eating the mushroom, right? Okay, so there's a mushroom. That's how you draw a mushroom. But there are other types of mushrooms. So, take a look at those other mushrooms that I post on my page, and you can choose from different ones, or if you want to stick to the same type of mushroom, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to draw another one that appears to be farther away. So this one is in front of it, so I'm not going to draw over this. But if I were to draw another mushroom, I would, and it's like farther away or behind this one, I would do the same process. So I'm going to start with the ground that it's growing on, and I'm going to draw the stem. I think that's what we started with last time. The stem right here. And then I'm going to draw the root system that we kind of talked about, the hyphae. So maybe I'll just do like a V here, and it's going to go into the ground like that. Stop at the ground, and then that's in this Pac-Man looking guy is in front of the stem, so there's no lines going through it. And then I can draw almost like its roots underneath that. And then we're going to draw the ring. So that's right here. Remember, it's kind of like a dress or a skirt. So this is the top where the caps would start. And I'm going to draw that little ring. But I'm not going to draw it in front of this one because this one's in front. This whole mushroom is in front of it, so you wouldn't be able to see this whole thing. So I'm going to kind of jump over. And then I'm going to erase because the ring is in front of the stem. So we're learning a lot about positive and negative space here. This shape is in front of this shape, so this shape would not go into this shape's positive space, so the inside of this shape. Okay, so we're going to draw another cap, and we don't have to make the caps all look the same. Maybe this cap is, so I'll draw an oval, and it's not going to be as big as this one because this one is closest to us. Okay, so this oval here, if I were to keep drawing, I'm going to erase this. Instead of going like flat left to right, I'm kind of making it a little bit diagonal, and that's okay. But I'm going to erase that because this one's in front of it, and I'm going to draw another cap. I kind of like the idea of making them all the same type of mushroom, so maybe I'll do that, but you do not have to do that if you don't want to. So I'm going to draw the gills, which is a pattern of lines that go from the center to the very edge. And then I'll draw a pattern, maybe the same type of pattern over here. Okay, so to fulfill your whole project, I'm going to say I want to see at least 12 mushrooms for your mushroom forest. You can draw as many as you want, but the expectation for this to, in order for this to be called complete, you're going to want to completely fill the page or do at least 12 mushrooms, and also you're going to want to color it. So I'll put that on time lapse, but have fun drawing your mushrooms, and I so look forward to seeing your work when it is done. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time.